What's up? Just Aaron right here, Question Period Canada. A couple of questions for you. Do you think Question Period is over the top? Too much pageantry? Too much drama? Like, why are there no answers? Just these questions. I know the Liberals NDP coalition is terribly frustrating to watch, but is Question Period over the top? Let's find out what Canadians think.
I don't feel they're constructive. It's just political rhetoric back and forth.
Mr. Speaker, we know that things are challenging for Canadians right now.
I think it depends on everybody's mood that day, honestly. I know those meetings can go for a very long time and people get worn down very, very fast.
Flailing of the Conservatives right now as they do anything to try to distract from the fact that their campaign manager, the leader of the opposition's top advisor, is and still gets contributions and paychecks from Loblaws.
It seems as though people are more concerned about getting a word in than they are about actually addressing problems.
Minister's new marketing director, Max Veliket, did marketing for Loblaws for 4 years. One guy, the Prime Minister's chief pollster, works for GT & Co., which collects checks from Loblaws. As does Dan Arnold, his other pollster, getting checks from Loblaws.
Mr. Speaker.
It seems more like a spitting match up there now than it is anything constructive getting done. It more or less seems like they're just making fun of each other.
General, the pandemic urgency can never justify corruption and oversight failures outlined in this report.
The House is open, whether it be provincially or federally. There's a lot of it's a camera stunt most of the time.
Payers $80,000, but it was confirmed by the Auditor General that it in fact cost more than $60 million. And after 8 years of this...
Mr. Speaker.
But what it is they just keep spatting back and forth, like one is trying to down the other instead of trying to get improvements.
DriveScan app is not worth the cost or corruption. Contractors were paid over $1,000 a day, even though 18% of the invoices for these contracts had no supporting documentation.
People ask the same question over and over again. They get the same answer over and over again. And it doesn't seem like anything gets done. It's like, watching school children,
Mr. Speaker.
Worked with the NDP Liberal government to set the requirements of arrive scam contracts, which GC Strategies then got. In other words, the process was rigged. The government massively overpaid for this $60 million glitchy app because the process was rigged. It was rigged so that GC Strategies got $20 million from taxpayers and did no actual work.
Liberal government is not worth the cost or the corruption. The Prime Minister's Arrive Scam app is not worth the cost or the corruption. Today, the Auditor General revealed that well-connected insiders and consultants were making $1,100 per day, almost twice the inflated government rate.
Else isn't worth the cost? The Prime Minister's $60 million ad scam app.
Mr. Speaker.
I do feel that, and I think that everybody has forgotten how it is in the House of Commons. There is debate, there's a bit of roughhousing. That's the way it's always been.
When he does not know what he's talking about, and he does not know what he's talking about because he does not care what he's talking about.
Behind the kind of misinformation and disinformation that he regularly peddles in.
We are 100% united in our support of Ukraine and in our opposition to the carbon tax.
Mr. Speaker.
Politicians are always going to try and gain political advantage by asking certain questions that lead down a certain path. That's always going to be a part of the process. But
he is a fake and he is a phony. Let's go for the fact. Fake and he's a phony.
Mr. Speaker.
Common sense Conservatives will axe the tax for all for good, but a quick fix is Conservative Bill C-234 that will cut it from farm fuels. So, will the Prime Minister stop interfering with his senators and let them pass it so farmers can afford to feed Canadians and so Canadians can afford to eat?
Like I said, I haven't had time to analyze that, but I don't know.
A little bit. I've only listened to a few. I find there's a lot more like yelling back and forth, a little bit more like ridiculing than sometimes getting serious discussions.
But there's got to be a better way. Someone that really understands politics should devise a better way than that.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, he makes it too easy. He talks about caucus meetings and Loblaws. Get this. the Prime Minister had someone who is his Director of Caucus Services named Julie DeWolf, who is now a lobbyist for Loblaws. He digs up a lot of dirt. His chief dirt digger, Kevin Bosch, left his office so that he could go and work as a lobbyist for Loblaws. Would he like us to continue going down the list of all of his Loblaws lobbyists, Mr. Speaker?
When his top advisor is in the pocket of Loblaws, giving him the same talking points as she gives Galen Weston when he appeared at Parliamentary Committee. Mr. Speaker, if Canadians are going to believe this Leader of the Opposition, he needs to come clean.
Getting a little disrespectful, heated might be a word.
That's fair. I agree. I feel like they could be more productive. I think that there's a lot of times where the point gets away from us and we get caught up in the little things, and then it just leaves the people who are involved in those issues kind of stuck to the side.
Strength is not math, but the facts are that we took office, there were about 12,000 working as CBSA officials, and when we left office, there were over 14,000. So 14,000 is more than 12,000 to help the Prime Minister with the numbers. Are they the ones that forced him to quadruple the carbon tax on our food?
They're not doing business in the right way.
Mr. Speaker.
Versus anyone actually putting something forward that really is meaningful to help the country.
Definitely not. We'll never be able to keep it going if everything goes green, electricity. Like, for example, come by chance out there, the oil refinery, to get it turned into a canola oil plant.
Justified. I'm not somebody who's comfortable with a lot more of like police presence and police having the ability to kind of, pull people over.
They do their job unless the Prime Minister blocks them from doing their job, like he did in his criminal offense where he committed the crime of accepting a gift from someone who was seeking a government contract from him. He blocked the RCMP from investigating him.
On protecting Canadians every possible way we could, they were peddling conspiracy theories, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
What's up? Rent's up, rates are up, taxes up, debt up, time's up for this government, Mr. Speaker.
It's plain and simple. It should never have been used. It was an overreach, one of many. No.
No, I felt like it was a bad idea to use the Emergencies Act.
I doubt that video gets us any more answers than Question Period does. But the thing is, we watch Question Period. It's like our soap opera that we watch here every day. We've got a great community that we're building. Everybody likes to hang out, make their funny comments. Like, that's what we have going on. Canadians watching Canadian politics together. That's the idea. Like and subscribe. Like, we watch politics here every day. We're trying to put out the best stories for the group. Let us know in the comments, like, what you have for ideas on what those stories should be. Like and subscribe. I'm Aaron, Question Period Canada. We'll catch you next video. Thank you for watching. Remember to have something healthy to eat and try to stay warm tonight. It's going to be a cold one here in Nova Scotia. Brr, brr.